Hi everybody, it's Dawn here, and for the last few weeks I've been called by the element of water. So in this video I'm going to talk about the practice of working with this particular element. Now if you already follow a magical or an earth-based path, well, you're likely to already be working with the elements. Maybe you're drawn to work with water more consciously, or like me, you've been called by it. And if you're new to this practice, well, hopefully in this video it'll give you some ideas and thoughts on how to work collaboratively with this elemental power. Now, the traditional four elements of fire, water, earth and air are fundamental to our very life. Our modern life has disconnected us from our relationship with these elements. So no longer do we need to make our own fire. We don't need to go and gather our water or even plant our own food. Our ancestors did. And their relationship and their respect of the elements were paramount for their very survival, but also for their ritual side as well. They were so connected to them, they developed ritual practices to harness their energy and also their power. So following an earth-based or magical practice can help us to reconnect with the elements. We get to develop our relationship with each one of them, and we get to understand them from a very deep level. Now we know that as life-giving as each element is, they have the power of destruction also. And so they must be respected in our magical practices and our workings. Now, I will be uploading videos on the other elements, but today I'm going to be concentrating on the element of water and how to work with this element consciously. Now, of course, there are a myriad of ways and approaches that we can take to water magic, so this isn't going to be an exhaustive video. And I would love to hear in the comments below how you work with the element of water if I don't cover one of your practices. Now, water is the great shapeshifter. She has no shape of her own. She follows the shape of the earth, and she reflects the shape of the container that holds her. She reminds us that nothing is permanent. Water is fluid. She circumvents obstacles in her desire to stay in the flow. And when she can't find her way through, well, she often enlists the help of her brother, the element of air. And he helps to whip her up in order to pummel what's in her path. She will have her way. It's inevitable. But she reminds us to let go. She reminds us to stop resisting. Our path is downstream always. She's also the cleanser, the purifier, the divine feminine. She's the archetype of emotions. Movement, flow, release and transmutation of the sadness and pain and the hurt and the frustration and the anger that we might feel. Let go of the shame and the guilt. Open yourself up to renewal, because she is the symbol of metamorphosis. And through water you can find your serenity and your calm. There's something special about the oceans, the lakes, the rivers and the streams that call us. It's a place that we can find peace and balance. So hear her call, seek her out and spend time with her. She's wise and she's ancient. Now, she's been there for us for millions, trillions of years, and yet we still treat her poorly. We pollute her, we waste her, we seek to monetize her. So we need to take action to preserve and protect her, for without her we're going to perish. It's her call to action. She's reaching out to us, just if we slow down enough to listen. Now, here are some fun and not so fun facts about water that you may or may not know about. So water is the only natural substance that's found in all of the three physical states, so liquid, solid and gas, at the temperatures that are normally found on Earth. Now, nearly 97% of the world's water is salty or otherwise undrinkable. Another 2% is locked in ice caps and glaciers, and that leaves just 1% for all of humanity's needs. So all of its agricultural, its residential, its manufacturing and its community and personal needs, just 1%. Now water regulates the Earth's temperature, and it also regulates the temperature of the human body as well. It carries nutrients and oxygen to our cells, it cushions joints and it protects organs and tissues. And it also removes waste from our body. Now water makes up about 66% of the human body, and 75% of that is in the human brain. Now an estimated 790 million people, so that's 11% of the world's population, live without access to an improved water supply. It's quite shocking to think about that. And in Canada, where I live, 41 First Nation communities, as of November 2020, don't have access to safe water. And some communities won't be able to get clean water out of their taps for many, many years to come. Now, I'm very lucky because I have access to clean water, but I also have access to so many wonderful natural and magical sources of water near where I live. So of course I live on this beautiful lake, and I get to connect with the element of water every day. And it's only a short drive to the ocean and a variety of glacial rivers that have made up the ritual landscape of Vancouver Island for thousands of years. So I'm going to share some of my magical practices, and if you're unable to get to a natural water source, don't worry, because I will include how you can work with the element of water regardless. So the first practice I want to talk about is ritual bathing. Now this has been practiced by many wisdom cultures for millennia, and it really is such an important part of my own personal practice. Now the intention of ritual bathing is to purify our spirit. It isn't about cleansing our physical bodies, but it is about cleansing our energetic one. Now many cultures advocate that ritual bathing isn't done in water that's been already drawn, but in a body of natural water, like an ocean. That's a wonderful body of water, as it's salt water, which is also a powerful cleanser in its own right, and it's also moving with the waves and the swells. However, we can adapt our practice and we can utilize the bath or the shower. So here's how to do it. So firstly, you want to carve out a little bit of time for this. Now it isn't something that I would recommend doing quickly or without some preparation, think ritual. We miss the ritual part of the process if we rush it. And remember that we're not just immersing our body in the water, but our soul. We're opening ourselves up to the divine within us, and it really shouldn't be rushed. So think about how you want to create your sacred space. Now this might be with aroma through the burning of incense or oils, or even a scented candle or two. I like to light beeswax candles and burn some Nag Champa incense, which is my personal favourite. Now, as I work a lot with crystals, I also like to lay out some crystals in the space and also identify a couple that will join me in the water as well. Now, it probably doesn't need saying, but I am going to say it anyway. Make sure the crystal is safe to go into the water before you plunk it in. You also might want to put together some herbs to go into the bath. So some of my favourites are lavender, calendula, flowers and rosemary. They're really good choices, but think about the purpose of your bath and do some research onto what herbs would really support that intention and therefore good to infuse in your bath. And again, probably doesn't need saying, but I will make sure the herbs are safe for you to use. Now, I also like to add in some Himalayan salt to my ritual baths and play some of my favourite meditation or spiritual music. It's about creating that ambience that we want. Now, I recommend showering before your ritual bath because remember, it really isn't about cleansing your body. So if you go into your bath clean, then that's all the better. Now, there are lots of different ways that you can add ritual elements to your bath. So maybe consider meditating before you get into the bath, or reciting an intention or some sort of inspirational words or poem. Now, fill the bath with warm water. Now, you don't want it to be too hot, but a comfortable temperature is recommended. Add in your herbs, your salts and your crystals, light your candles, your incense, burn your oils, put on your music, and then remove your clothes. Now, one of the things that I do is to look at myself in the bathroom mirror. I like to take the opportunity to look at my face and my body. I get to appreciate the physical me. I get to say thank you, and I get to send it love. No matter the size or the shape or physical condition, you get to take some time to really appreciate your body. And don't shy away from looking at your naked self. Take your time and speak your affirmations from the heart. And when you're ready, step into the bath and slowly submerge your body. Now, you'll want to fully submerge at some point, and that's even your head and your face if you can. And spend some time in appreciation and setting any tensions that you want to make. Now, you'll probably be in the bath for around 15 to 30 minutes, but when you're ready to get out, pull the plug and ask the universe to transform the stale or the stuck energy that's been released. And if you're comfortable enough to let your body air dry, that's the best. Now, make sure you extinguish any candles and incense before you leave the bathroom. Now, another way that you can work with the element of water is to drink it. I know it sounds silly, but it is a magical process. But instead of drinking the water to quench your thirst or to rehydrate, you're drinking it to bring in positive intention into your body. And the work of Masaru Emoto in understanding how water can hold emotions is really critical in this, because we get to create the emotion that we want to evoke. And how often do we take a moment or two to infuse our water with some positive words or energy? Probably not very often. However, if we can get into the habit of doing this, it will really help our health, our wellness, and our well-being. It'll also help with our manifestation as well, and it's really super easy to do. All we need to do is to speak a few words into the water, or to hold the glass or the bottle and send out a loving vibration. Now, if you're hoping to manifest something in your life, then speak a positive affirmation into the water. Now, another really wonderful way to drink water is using blue bottles or blue solar water. And I first came across this when I trained many years ago, back while I was still in the UK, in the practice of Ho'oponopono. And the frequency of the water is blue. The vibration of the blue holds within it some really natural, powerful cleansing and purifying properties. So drinking your water out of a blue bottle infuses it with this wonderful high vibration energy, and we get to consume it. However, if you leave it out in the morning sun just for 30 or 60 minutes, it really helps to amplify and to accelerate this cleansing, rejuvenating process. Now, you can buy purpose-made blue bottles for solar water. Now, they're gorgeous, but they're pretty expensive. And I found these bottles in a local garage sale for $1. So if you're on a budget, they will work just as well as the pretty expensive ones. I fill the bottles up with water, and then I leave them out in the sun for an hour, and then I decant the water into my glass to drink. And you can also pop in a crystal or two into the water, but again, make sure that it's safe to do that. Now, another thing that you can do with water is to bless it, and then to anoint yourself or an object with it. Now, I know this sounds incredibly Christian, but actually the origins of this practice go back way before organized religion, and was in fact a Druid practice. Now you can use spring water to do this, or even collect the morning dew for anointing purposes. It's really cool. Now a lovely little magical ritual you can do next to a body of fresh water, that's preferable, maybe a pond or a lake or a river, and take a bowl with you, as you're going to need one as long as you have access to the water. Now if you can't get out to a natural body of water, then I'd recommend adding some spring water to a bowl and taking it outside somewhere that you can access and doing the ritual. And you know, first of all, just watch the surface of the water and consider how the water is living water. Think about the journey that this water has taken to be with you. Think about the different transformations it's taken in form or matter. And then scoop some water up into your bowl and bring the bowl close to your face. Say your name and watch the surface of the water to see if it's moved at all by your breath. See the small ripples spreading out, showing you how a simple act can have repercussions which continue for a really long time. And as you gaze at the water, allow its mirror-like surface to calm you. Now, water allows us to connect to our intuitive self. It allows us to tap into our psychic vision. And we do this through the practice of hydromancy, and we get to connect with our inner wisdom. And you can do this quite simply. Sit for a moment and make your request to the body of water. Ask for its wisdom and sit in appreciation from your heart. And when you're given the okay, you can ask your question and allow the images to emerge. Stare into the water, focus on your breath, soften your gaze, and surrender into the experience. Let your mind drift across the top of the water. Now, you might see images in the patterns, you might see swirls of the water, or in your mind's eye. So really allow them to come. And if you're unsure about what you're being shown, ask for clarity and pay attention to how you feel, what you can smell, what you can hear, all of those things. Pay attention to your thoughts, your emotions. Listen to the sounds around you. You might also want to take some pictures to review later, particularly if you've got a body of water that's moving, because there might be messages in there as well. Now, if you have water in a bowl, you can agitate the water with your fingers to create some movement, and then you can complete the activity just as I described. You don't have to go to a moving body of water. Now, other simple ways to connect with water is to go swimming in any natural water source that you can find, like a lake or a river, or alternatively, walk in the rain. And if you do these things consciously, review how you feel before you do that and after, and you'll find that there's some transformation that's happened. And finally, I mentioned at the start of the video that water had been calling me lately, and she has indeed. She's been very insistent in how she reached into my meditations and into my dream time as well. Now, she asked me to sing to her. She asked me to share sacred sound to support her. So I've been going out to different bodies of water around my local area, and I've been taking my singing bowl, it's a F heart chakra singing bowl, and my drum. Now, I started at my home in the lake here that I live on, and I sang and I played my crystal heart chakra bowl and I drummed for her. Now, this has been an incredible experience for me, which I haven't captured on video to share, because really it was profound and moving, and just between the body of water that I've been working with and me. But I do invite you to go and try it out for yourself. Because remember, just as water can absorb positive emotions, it also absorbs negative ones. And in my house healing work, I know only too well that an underground stream flowing below somebody's home really can contain the collective negative emotions of the people that walk above the stream or live over it, even in other houses. And my work is to harmonise these bodies of water, and I use sound, colour and intention. So together we can work at harmonising the water that we have locally surrounding us. Send her some loving intentions, sing to her, play sacred sounds, and this will support our oceans, our rivers, our streams and our lakes. Now, I hope you enjoyed this little video and you feel inspired to work consciously with the element of water. Remember, be respectful and build your relationship with her. Now, please do share your thoughts in the comments below, because I do love to read them. And consider liking and subscribing. Maybe consider even sharing this video with your like-minded friends, because together we get to build our spiritual community. Ta-ta for now.